Welcome, viewers. Step into the ultimate battlefield, where deadly weapons make absolutely no sound at all. We picture modern war as heavy steel tanks, roaring jets, and brutal physical destruction. But the truth is terrifying. The next global conflict will not be won by those with the biggest bombs. Instead, the ultimate power belongs to those who control the invisible radio spectrum. Welcome to the silent, invisible battlefield of electronic warfare today. Hollywood teaches us that military power relies heavily on massive explosions and fire. We imagine brave soldiers charging through muddy trenches, while heavy artillery shakes the ground beneath them. We believe the nation with the thickest armored tanks will naturally dominate any modern battlefield. Fighter jets roaring across the sky have always been seen as the ultimate symbol of global dominance. In this physical realm, victory seems simple. Whoever drops the heaviest payload will surely win the war. Governments spend billions of dollars forging harder steel plates and creating faster, deadlier missiles. Generals have spent centuries studying kinetic warfare, analyzing troop movements and frontal assaults. But what if this traditional perspective is entirely wrong for the conflicts of the 21st century? What if the greatest threat to a supercarrier is not a torpedo, but an invisible frequency? Our obsession with physical destruction blinds us to a quiet revolution happening right now. While we watch the massive blasts on TV, a silent war is raging in the electromagnetic void. There is a hidden domain where the most powerful weapons ever created can be rendered useless. To understand this shifting paradigm, we must look beyond the smoke and examine the invisible data streams. Imagine a battlefield where no shots are fired, yet an entire army is instantly paralyzed. Modern war relies deeply on communication, sensors, and satellite navigation. If you cut these digital lifelines, the advanced military hardware becomes nothing but scrap metal. We are stepping into an era where software codes and microwaves are far more lethal than gunpowder. The illusion of physical dominance is fading rapidly, making way for a sophisticated threat. This is a reality that many commanders struggle to accept, clinging to outdated tactics. They build stronger fortresses and thicker bunkers, oblivious to the signals penetrating their walls. But true vulnerability lies not in armor plating, but within the tiny microchips inside them. Let us strip away the explosive Hollywood myths and confront the chilling reality of conflict. Because the weapon that will win the next world war might not even make a sound when it is deployed. It will not leave behind smoking craters, but rather frozen screens and completely disoriented armies. The kinetic battlefield is merely a distraction from the real strategic operations unseen. As we watch the tanks roll forward, we must ask ourselves who is truly controlling their guidance systems. Could a single line of malicious code be far more devastating than 1,000 shells combined? To find the answer, we must examine an incident that shocked the global intelligence community. In 2011, an American RQ-170 Sentinel drone was patrolling the skies. This was the crown jewel of stealth technology, completely invisible to standard radars. Yet, mysteriously, this multi-million-dollar aircraft gently landed in the desert. It was not shot down by missiles, nor did it experience any mechanical failure. Instead, the drone appeared completely intact, hijacked, and commanded to land, as if obeying masters. How could such an advanced, heavily encrypted machine be captured without a single bullet? This baffling event raised serious questions in the Pentagon and troubled top military strategists. But this captured drone was merely the beginning of a terrifying new trend on the battlefield. Soon after, alarming reports emerged of massive naval warships losing their GPS coordinates. These floating fortresses, equipped with the best navigation tools, were wandering blindly in open waters. Their highly sophisticated screens displayed false locations, placing them miles away or sometimes deep inland. In other chilling instances, smart missiles designed for pinpoint accuracy altered their onward course. Instead of hitting the designated targets, they turned sharply and plunged harmlessly into the ocean waves. It was as if an invisible hand was reaching down from the sky, physically turning the steering wheels. The mechanics were flawless. The engines roared perfectly, but the mechanical brains had been utterly compromised. Generals began to realize that their billion-dollar investments could be hijacked by unseen assailants. Who was this hidden adversary, capable of crippling the world's most formidable armies? The enemy was not using conventional firepower, nor were they deploying massive ground troop formations. They were exploiting the very foundation of modern warfare, the vulnerable electromagnetic spectrum. Every radio transmission, every radar ping, and every data link became a gateway. This profound realization shattered decades of established military doctrine and strategy. If your multi-million-dollar weapons cannot see, hear, or locate themselves, they are worse than useless. They become massive liabilities, easily turned against their creators with just a few signals. The doubt crept into every command center. Can we actually trust the data on our screens anymore? Commanders faced the terrifying prospect that their entire operational picture might be a lie. The fog of war had evolved from physical battlefield smoke into deliberately engineered blindness. To counter this threat, analysts had to dive deep into the unseen world of frequencies and algorithms. And what they discovered was a highly organized discipline designed solely to dominate the waves. If you were commanding a hijacked drone, would you destroy it to protect its secrets? Share your thoughts below. This silent sabotage is the work of electronic warfare, a crucial domain that dictates combat success. Inside darkened control rooms, specialized officers wage war not with bullets, but with microwave beams. Their weapon of choice is jamming, a brute force method to overwhelm enemy sensors with digital noise. By blasting high-power radio frequencies, they can instantly blind sophisticated radar arrays. On the enemy screen, clear green tactical targets are suddenly replaced by a blinding wall of white static. This chaotic interference renders multi-billion-dollar missile batteries completely blind. Electronic warfare goes far beyond just shouting over enemy communication lines. The most dangerous and elegant tactic in their invisible arsenal is known as GPS spoofing. Spoofing is an incredibly subtle cyber attack that does not destroy the system, but cleverly deceives it. A specialized transmitter broadcasts a fake satellite signal that is slightly stronger than the genuine one. The drone's internal navigation computer naturally locks on to this fabricated signal. Once locked, the electronic warfare operator slowly shifts the artificial coordinates. The captured aircraft genuinely believes it is flying straight, while actually being guided into a trap. It willingly adjusts its trajectory, aligning its flaps and engine thrust to follow the hacker's commands. This explains how an untouchable stealth bomber can be smoothly delivered straight to the enemy. According to defense intelligence reports, these spoofing techniques are becoming increasingly commonplace. We are witnessing a profound evolution, where algorithms and equations are the true weapons of destruction. These operators do not need physical strength, only brilliant mathematical precision. They can neutralize a naval destroyer fleet simply by scrambling the local satellite timing signals. By delaying a GPS timestamp by mere microseconds, the targeted ship computes its location wrongly. The vessel believes it is safely navigating deep waters, while actually steering directly to a reef. This invisible battlefield requires no kinetic force, yet yields devastating strategic results. Every major military power on Earth is heavily investing in electronic warfare. To lose control of the electromagnetic spectrum is to surrender the physical war zone. Your advanced stealth fighters become flying coffins if they cannot detect the incoming radar threats. Your elite infantry units are completely cut off and isolated if their communications are jammed. Electronic warfare has transformed the very nature of human conflict in our modern digital age. The undeniable truth of modern combat is that controlling the invisible waves guarantees victory. A billion-dollar F-35 squadron is utterly powerless if its advanced sensors are blinded. The vaunted Iron Dome defense network is completely useless if it cannot detect incoming rockets. We must permanently discard the outdated notion that raw, destructive power defines military strength. A nation's true dominance lies entirely in its signal processing capabilities. In the silent rooms of tactical command centers, unseen warriors battle for spectral supremacy. Every microchip, antenna, and satellite link forms the crucial front line of this new global conflict. While the public watches fiery explosions, the real war is being quietly won in the shadows. Because in the 21st century, he who masters the invisible spectrum rules the entire world. When you see an armored tank, remember how easily a silent frequency can disable it. This is the reality of modern warfare, a digital game with devastating consequences. To secure the skies, generals must now deploy massive arrays of scrambling antennas. The next major superpower will be defined by its mathematical computing speed. Armies that fail to adapt to this electromagnetic truth will inevitably fall. We have built incredibly complex physical systems that rely entirely on fragile signals. This dangerous dependency makes every nation vulnerable to a quiet defeat. We are shifting from an era of brutal firepower to precise signal manipulation. To survive tomorrow, a nation must weave a flawless protective net of radar and code. If a single weakness is found, the enemy will effortlessly dismantle their defenses. Electronic warfare forces us to completely rethink strategic superiority. The most lethal strike of the modern era is simply an algorithm overriding a system. It is a profound revolution, where silent waves dictate the fate of massive empires. He who firmly commands the invisible spectrum will unquestionably rule the entire globe. Yet, as these radio frequencies dominate the skies and the vast surface of our planet. There remains a dark, isolated domain where electromagnetic waves are utterly powerless. A chilling realm beneath the ocean surface where deadly submarines hunt in total silence. We have seen how invisible signals can neutralize the most advanced weapons today. Do you think electronic warfare will replace traditional combat entirely? Tell us below. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content.